everyone, I am Malarvari from the class of PGP BM 1921. Have you daydreamed to live the life of Ambani for a day? Wow, why not? Now, have you ever dreamt of living a poor Indian's life in a remote village? Oh no, that's the state of India. It is our duty to build an inclusive India. Today, I am going to talk about financial inclusion. So, what is financial inclusion? It is the process of ensuring access to financial services, timely and adequate credit for vulnerable groups such as weaker sections and low income groups at an affordable cost. Financial inclusion is increasingly being recognized as a key driver of economic growth and poverty alleviation. Access to formal finance can boost job creation, reduce vulnerability to economic shocks, and increase investments in human capital. Yes, people have to rely on their own limited resources or on costly informal sources of credit. At a macro level, greater financial inclusion can support sustainable and inclusive socio-economic growth for everyone. Financial inclusion of women is particularly important for gender equality and women's economic empowerment. On the other hand, financial exclusion makes the disadvantaged and low-income segments of our society vulnerable to financial distress, debt, and poverty. United Nations Sustainable Development Goals (SDG) of 2030 emphasizes financial inclusion as a key enabler for achieving sustainable development worldwide. So, what is the status of financial inclusion in India? India's financial inclusion journey began as early as 1956 with the nationalization of life insurance companies, followed by nationalization of banks in 1969 and 1980. A host of initiatives were undertaken over the years in this domain, which include Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile Trinity (JAM), Mudra Yojana for MSMEs, transformation of aspirational districts program to address regional disparities, payment banks and small finance banks to deepen financial inclusion, etc. Despite the various measures by various stakeholders, there are still critical gaps existing in the usage of financial services. It requires the attention of policy makers through necessary coordination and effective monitoring. The challenges include access to difficult to reach terrain like the northeastern region, poor connectivity creating a digital divide, socio-cultural barriers. For example, there are still certain pockets wherein women do not have the freedom to access financial services because of cultural barriers. Few recommendations include strengthening outreach by leveraging on the developments in fintech space and business correspondent networks. To bring people out of the clutches of poverty, convergence of objectives of various employment generation and skill development programs like NRLM, NULM, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana and other state level programs through an integrated approach. There is a need to promote financial literacy at grassroots level. Customers need to be explained in simple language the nature of the product, its suitability to their requirements and the cost vis-a-vis returns. With a large number of new customers included in the ambit of formal financial services and with the emerging risks from digital financial services due to incidents like cloning, phishing, wishing, farming, etc., a strong customer protection architecture becomes vital. Last but not the least, periodic evaluation of financial inclusion policies through monitoring of financial inclusion parameters provides policymakers and stakeholders with necessary insights to understand the achievements made in the country and to address issues and challenges through a coordinated approach. Thank you.